Okay, so a little panel like this, I'll try to get some of these gestures that I see the darks here. So I'm just going to grab any dark, purple is usually the darkest, and the dark shapes. What are they like? They kind of carry them across here. There's a rock here. I can outline that, and just keep it going. This is all in shadow here. Same with this. Little highlights coming through, and of course I need to pick up more paint. So then there'll be this nice tree trunks here, and there's some edge of the water here, kind of a structure thing there, and essentially it's like a no-tan drawing of the foreground and the darks and lights within the piece. So this is one way to start a painting, is just grab the darks and the area that you think is going to be in shadow, like it is here. Now, how do you deal with all of these greens? That's the big question. I mean, you can just take a green from your palette and put it down on there. And I've decided to put a lot of different greens on my palette, and here I'm squeezing out the chromium oxide green, and that's an opaque green I can use at the end. But what I like about all of these colors on the palette is I can play with them and learn from them and how they interact, just like I'm learning from how the foliage colors interact and relate. So some are warm, bright yellow greens, and some are purpley, deep reddish greens even, and you'll see brown, but the browns have tones either of red or blue or umber, warm ochre reflection. So all of that can be incorporated into this painting here. And keeping it simple, you could just do mostly play on vibrant greens. Like I have this nice opaque green, and I see this color in the large shaped plant across there. And often I don't want to use the same green in the foreground, so I'll change it up a little bit and add even like a warmth to it, sort of this ochre green here, and that's okay if the green's carrying through and repeated elsewhere like this. But at the foreground, I'd like to have a really warm green. So what's a warm green? It has orange in it, right? So we can start by actually putting the orange, and then the highlights here are really a bright, cool yellow in the shadows. So like a lemon yellow right there, just place it down. There's some right here, some real warm yellows here. And then I'm going to get an actual clean brush and only glaze this lovely warm color into it. And this is just an ochre, right? Add a bit of pink to it because there's some warm, it's really warm in the foreground, little leaves here. Now, is there any reds in the background? If there are, they're not going to be this bright, okay? They're going to be subdued. So you just take and add a bit of green to it, and you'll get a really nice deep green with that red. And that's carried on back here. Now this is actually like a brown water, okay? But I think I'd like to brighten it up a bit and put some blue into it, even some little highlights of blue there. And on this side, it's very light. Like there's this really light green. It's almost like that. Highlights of carry that. So where's that blue? I'd like to make like a deep tones here. I'm just squinting and following through. I feel like Claude Monet here, and a beautiful warm day, and the shade is great because it is hot today. So always good to monitor temperature. And Leica too, she's having a nice time lying down there and resting in the shade. Even though she's blind, she's can remember her job here as my companion, and I'm sure she's enjoying it, listening to my brush dance. Some of it makes noise when you know, when there's a little rock shape there and a shape there, so it goes there, and underneath this tree that's overhanging. There's lovely branches here. You know, I can just gesture them. They don't have to be like, even this is one brush stroke, then it can be another repeated brush stroke here as a rock, and just vary them slightly as it goes into the scene. Okay, now because I like this little dark, even though that's in the shadow, I still might like to play dark against light here, so I'm going to make the green cooler there, and a cooler green would be a bluish green, so maybe ultramarine. And well, first I have a dark green, so I'll put that in here. That's really dark, so I'll push the dark shadows in the back here. As the shadow of the tree is there. Maybe some nice little blues, little song of the blue water as it meanders along the lily pads and comes right up to them and gives them a little kiss and says, "Thank you for brightening the darks of this pond and having a fun play through painting, giving us joy, inspiring artists who are thankful for the day." And may you be too.